Hey, boo, hey. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. I wanted to come talk to you guys really quickly about depression. So, I always ask for feedback for my videos, and I'm always asking people, like, what do you think? How am I doing? And someone at my job, she gave me phenomenal feedback, and she said, I love your videos and they're very encouraging to me, but I would love to know how you've dealt and deal with depression. So, for me, have I been depressed? Absolutely. It is something that I've dealt with I want to say maybe from my teenage years up until now. I have dealt with depression just from things that have happened in my life. My childhood traumas are a huge factor into my depression and how it has affected me growing up. So, what depression looks like for me. First, let me tell you this. I am not a therapist. I am not some clinical doctor. I can't diagnose you with depression. I don't know how to solve depression. I'm only telling you how depression has affected me and my ways of coping with it. So for depression for me, as of recently, so I started this journey, as you guys know, forgiveness of what my father has done to me in the past. With the divorce of with my mother growing up. So that has affected multiple areas in my life, and it has made it extremely difficult in a lot of areas, but I'm not going to let those difficulties hold me back. I'm no longer using them as an excuse and a reason not to propel forward. And so opening up that can of worms has brought a huge cloud over me, and it's really hard because I'm facing all of these things head on and still dealing with depression, dealing with all of it now. And so some days I'm extremely happy, some days I'm really just not there. And so as recently, within the last couple of weeks, my mother has been in a hospital. That has been really, really troubling for me, and my sisters and I. And so I've been dealing with a lot. And so the one thing that I've noticed when I know I'm depressed is, first of all, I binge eat and I have no appetite. I have a black hole in my stomach, and I have no appetite, but I binge eat and I can't seem to get full, but I have no taste for nothing. It's the weirdest thing. I know my sleeping patterns automatically get off. And I just find myself really secluding myself into a ball. And so I also noticed the type of music I'm starting to get drawn to. I listen to more sad and somber music, I listen to sad and somber music. I watch movies that are sad. I find myself gravitating to more of a depressive state of things in my life. And so when I notice myself doing this, one of the things I do right away is I have to remind myself that this is just a moment and it'll pass. So when you're going through depression, I think one of the biggest things is that I feel like this moment is forever. A moment is a moment. It's just that. It's just a moment in your life. When you're happy, it's just a moment. When you're sad, it's just a moment. And when you're depressed, it's just a moment. You have to train your brain to think like that. I remember my pastor in New York, Pastor A.R. Bernard, he says your quality of thinking determines your quality of life. And when I notice that my thinking patterns are becoming negative and fearful and doubtful, and I'm self-sabotaging, I right away have to tell myself that I am not those thoughts. Who's telling me that? I challenge those thoughts. As my therapist said, is to challenge those thoughts. I challenge those thoughts, and I look at my life and I assess it really quickly in that moment, because I've done a lot of good work on myself, and I'm encouraging you to start the work, right? Because you don't want to throw away all the work that you've done yourself, or even start the work. So I started the work with therapy. And so now when I'm in a depressive state, I go back to the work that I've done, right? And so I'm looking at these thoughts and I'm saying, I'm not stupid, or I'm not a failure. I'm not just this fat, obese person. I know these sound really harsh, but these are things that I honestly do tell myself. And that was really honest for me. These are things I honestly do tell myself, but I challenge those things and I say, who's telling you that, LaQuinia? Who told you all of those things? And the answer is always no one. It's you. It's, in my mind, it's the enemy. I'm not trying to convert nobody to Christianity, but Christianity is my base. And it's the enemy, and it is getting in my head trying to destroy me, because he could get to your thoughts. If the enemy can get to your thoughts, oh my God, they can do a world of trouble when you, and they could bring you down so low that you can't, it's hard for you to find your way back to the top. But I want you to, in those moments of depression, and what I've started doing is I started to look at and I challenge those thoughts, right? Your quality of thinking determines your quality of life. Look at that. Why am I depressed right now? Some of you guys, it goes really, really deep. I don't know what that is or what that means for you, but do the work on yourself. Don't be so scared of the feelings where you want to run from them. Kind of lean into that. And if you feel like it's a point where you are self-sabotaging or you feel like you want to commit suicide, because I've been there, I have been in that state. Whew, this is really honest, I have been there. And so, but I want you to remember that, like, ask yourself, like, who's telling you those things? Who's doing that? And find a way to get yourself out of it. So now one of the things I do when I know I'm eating recklessly, it's my thing. Right away, I stop. I take a moment. I just like, let me put my earphones in. One of the things I do is I find music, and I find happy music. One of the things I listen to all the time, as you guys know, I love me some Beyonce. It's not a secret for those who know me. So I do listen to like her upbeat music. I listen to gospel because like I said, gospel is in Christianity is at the base of who I am. And I start to tell friends, I'm no longer suffering in silence. That's one of the biggest things that I have started to do is I start to reach out to friends. And as hard as that is for me, I do it because I can go to a very dark place. And I just have a really great support system, like my sister, Nafisha, my cousin Toilette, my cousin Monique, and even my cousin AJ this weekend gave me some really great advice. And so that's hard for me because I'm not a person who goes to people. I would rather just keep it all in. And, I have best friends, Ashton and Brooke and Nicole and Anna and Crystal. And so and they do really good at checking on me. So you got to have a good, solid support system. Sorry, guys. Solid support system where you feel safe. I feel safe with all those names that I just mentioned to you. And so stop suffering in silence. Get out there and start speaking to people because, sometimes they have a word, they have a word. And sometimes you don't need to, and they know sometimes you don't need to bottle that in. And you have to learn how to be there for yourself. If there's any advice I ever give you in all of my videos, I don't care what therapist you go to. I don't care what your friends tell you, what your pastor tell you, what your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your sister, whoever. If you don't know how to be there for yourself, none of it means anything. And you have to fight. You have to fight for your peace of mind. And you have to do what you have to do to get there. It's hard and it's a whole lot easier said than done because I'm honestly in a little bit of a depressive state right now, if I'm being honest, with my mom and everything with my father. So it's hard for me. So I just want to tell you guys that. I don't know if that helps you guys or not, or if I just want to tell you what I do when I'm in a depression state. And just remember that your quality of thinking determines your quality of life. Pastor A.R. Bernard gave me that, and that's just something that I honestly and truly still live by. So I hope this helped. Sorry, this is longer than what I intended it to be. I want you guys to have the most amazing week and remember how amazing you all are. And I want you guys to remember to please forgive yourself, okay? Just do it. Forgive yourself. Extend that forgiveness to other people. And remember, and forgive yourself in your process. When you have a high, you have a low, you have this, you have that. Forgive yourself. It's okay. It's okay. And love yourself, okay? All right, guys. Have the most amazing week. Bye.